Yo, welcome everyone to another episode of Sky Wars. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, National Pumpkin Day, Gravmas Day, and Alphabet Day. Yes, those last three things are real. And if you're wondering, Alphabet Day is a day, which is also on Christmas, where you cannot put the letter L in your daily speech. Which I don't think it's that much of a challenge. You can just put on a very offensive, stereotypical accent. I won't say which one, but you can figure out. Anyhow, my Christmas was pretty alright. If you're an OG Tetrobomb viewer, you'd know that I mentioned my Christmas happenings in my first public video, where my entire family tree and friends pull up and just consumes everything emotionally and physically. And before you say, what are you talking about, Tetrobomb? You're just being overly harsh. Which, why? That's a very good response, and I respect you for pointing that out. But forget that. I've been living with another family member for like nearly a decade now, which of course I'm incredibly grateful, but that's another point. It's increasingly difficult when the people they invite are people I just heavily disagree with the more I learn about them and grow up. I mean, I thought some of them were cool when we were younger. Young Tetrobomb had to have some sort of tertiary figure to look up to. Anyhow, some of the people I know are just incredibly strange, and I mean, that's coming from me. Listen, they aren't haha strange, they're more of a, why would you ever do that? Seriously, why? Type strange. Whether it comes to cheating, drinking, parties, which may sound like me being an incel, complaining that people have lives, but you don't understand where I'm coming from here. These people are adults now. I'm 16 and big 26, and these people are acting like my age with actual children. One of the people I know cheated on their partner, actively rubbed in their face by sending photos of them and the new partner, which I don't know about you, but is nuts. Especially since it was like 3 days after the whole debacle. And another one of them had a fight with their partners and was getting kicked out and asked their dad, hey, I'm getting kicked out. Do you mind helping me out here, please, Dad? And the guy was like, no! Who do you think you are? You're gonna have to go to the homeless housing list. Because the child, you think he'd even, like, let him stay a while? He wasn't even graceful about it. From what I heard, it was immediate. These are not people I want to be spreading Christmas joy with. You know what I mean? Maybe she should have asked on Christmas, increase the odds. I don't know. Anyhow, my Christmas was alright. I had, like, zero sleep, but it didn't really matter all that much. I just shoved some caffeine directly into my adrenal gland, and reselling my body had its Mr. Frog moment. I was moving in like 5 FPS, dude, I swear. So I woke up my sisters at like 8, which I thought was normal, but there's some strange people out there that wake up at like 6 for presents. Like, I understand if they're in the living room at 7:45, but if you get up less than that, you are a deranged psychopath. I have zero trust in you. But I woke up my sisters, sat down on the chair. They all look sleep deprived, up until it was time for presents, of course. They were wide awake then. They all looked so incredibly happy. This is the family I love to welcome back. It's moments like these that really make you tear up and think, I would do anything for you guys. That's family. The people you first wish happy Christmas, that's family. The people you share gifts with, whether it be through words or items in the early morning or vice versa. Those are the people you cherish and never, ever let go of. This year has got to be the most real year. I've cried, I've laughed, I felt disgusted, hatred. But for the day of the 25th with the people I'd love, I'd do it all over again. I don't know, I feel like I really woke up this year. I feel realized, you know what I mean? I felt like I was in a constant fugue state with brain fog 24/7, but everything feels more sharp. Like, I know what's coming. I don't know if my 16-year-old cranium finally formed or if I'm feeling a bit more confident in where I'm standing. I think I'm just really happy. I have a good outlet, family, friends, and anyhow, all that mumbo-jumbo out of the way, we're going to be talking about the real origination of Christmas we know today, which I had absolutely zero idea about, and I thought I'd enlighten you, so let's start at the beginning. Back in Rome, there was an ancient festival to honor the god Saturn. He was described as a god of time, generation, dissolution, abundance, wealth, agriculture, periodic renewal, and liberation. Saturn was worshipped by the Romans since around 6th century BCE. The Romans liked everything Greek. They basically stole, like, I don't want to say steal, let's say borrowed. They borrowed a lot of stuff from the Greeks because they thought the Greeks were cultured and well educated, which they were. So basically they were in the streets looking at the burbs in TikTok slang. I don't know if that's TikTok slang. Anyhow, most Romans actually looked out to Greek tourists for their children. So they adopted the Greek gods at a very, very early stage due to that. Now, much like the Greeks, the Romans also believed, and legends had it, that Saturn once ruled a golden age, and Saturn fled from his very angry father, which came from Latium, where Rome would later be built. There it was assumed that he taught people how to farm and grow grapes en masse. He also encouraged them to settle their differences by discussion and not by violence. This fits in with Romans' ideas of the Greeks as more civilized. I don't know why I bombarded you with facts that don't at all relate with the origins of Christmas. My bad. Anyhow, Saturnalia was honoring Saturn and celebrating the end of the agricultural cycle and the coming of the winter solstice. But the customs were 10 times more appealing than all this blabber. Slaves were temporarily freed as they dined with the masters and could speak freely with little to no consequences. I mean, probably not, but that's what it says on the wiki, so we're just gonna go with that. Anyhow, they were wearing traditional garb with a conical hat symbolizing freed men, but I think the best thing to come out of this was, I mean, except for the freed slaves, the feast, having private and public banquets nigh everywhere, all over Rome. And let's imagine the selection during this time. They usually focused on roasted meats, such as roasted pig, pork, ham, sausages, brains even. I heard that's quite a popular thing back then. For some odd reason, I'm sure there's some old spiel about brains making you smarter. I remember that being a big thing back then, because I was there, of course. Anyhow, they also most likely had gigantic imports of seafood with oysters, eel, turbot. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I'm just kind of hungry. Okay, I'm gonna go.